double check our live stream, listen to the audio, make sure it looks good, sounds good, and everything before we get totally going. And also share it to my personal page, because that's what you should do when you go live, is utilizing your personal social media channels to help push viewers to your business page. So I'm gonna check that. Sounds pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and share it over. Put join me live. Let's talk about social media. There we go. Cool. All right. So first things up is I'm going to now take this out so I don't hear myself in delay. LinkedIn is rolling out comment impression count. So it's pretty interesting. You may start seeing in LinkedIn where if somebody leaves a comment and that comment gets a lot of impressions, where the impression count is for that comment. Like in their thing, it says this comment has gotten 300 impressions. Super interesting. I don't know how much we'll see of that, or it'll be interesting to see if like the top comment has 300 and the next one down has 250 and then 200 and then 190 and then it falls off or whatever, right? And then it drops, or are they going to start floating different comments to the top, and those ones will have a bunch, and then once you get past those, it drops down. Will you see a comment at the top with 5 impressions, and then below that's the one with 300 impressions? I think a lot of social media hacking right now could be done in commenting on really popular posts from brand accounts or personal accounts or whatever, because if you post to your 37 followers or 300 followers and your post gets seen by 100 people, what if you went into a comment section that's getting thousands and thousands of views and people interacting and communicating within the comments? So there could definitely be a hack there. Maybe spend some time leaving comments on really popular posts and see what happens. Another thing that is going on, TikTok launches Oscars Hub. So they are almost creating like a Oscars Hub within TikTok. And I also think I saw something that if you create certain content, you have a chance to win money based around the Oscars and stuff like that. But the hub is for news and information and content leading up to the Oscars. So that's something that is kind of interesting, as they're creating this like little news channel within the platform that you may start going in and watching all of the content for things like the Oscars or maybe the Super Bowl one day or whatever. Instead of watching on TV, you go follow all this other content on a platform. So something kind of interesting and different going on there. I think we've seen other versions of that in like collaborations between platforms and big entertainment sources and events. But let's see, there was something else super cool that I seen, or interesting, I guess. It was, let me get back to that one. Instagram explains how its algorithm weighs time spent watching longer clips. So one of the things that's going on is, people think that if you make and we've seen this even within the office, if you make a, maybe 7-second video and somebody watches it twice, the chances of that thing getting more views or getting promoted or hitting the algorithm and taking off seems to be higher than if you put out a 2-minute reel, because now you can go up to like 3+ minutes. Instagram's always messing with that. But even if you just talk in a 60-second clip, if you have a 7-second reel that gets watched multiple times, or a 57-second clip that gets watched, 50 seconds, so it's not even at 100% watch time, but the other one is at, you watched it 3 times, so you're at 300% watch time, there's a higher chance that the 7-second video would populate and take off. And I think we've seen that. I do believe that. I also think that if somebody scrolls down to comment and the video's sitting there playing and it keeps getting views, that in a sense kind of fluffs some of the numbers you may see. So a 100,000 view video that is 7 seconds long, or a 50,000 view video that is 37 seconds long, but it also depends on what they consider a view and all those types of things. So, it's a super interesting conversation, but Instagram is saying they are weighing them kind of separately. How much a video is watched in percentage but as well as watch time within that video. So that is an update that, or a release that Instagram let everybody know that this is kind of how that algorithm works, and it is based off of not just percentage viewed or how many views, it's based on also watch time. So it is okay to put out longer videos, but the key is to get as much viewed of that video, percentage of watch time. Try to watch it, get your audience to watch it as far through as you can. Now, if you put out a 56-second video and they watch it multiple times, even better. So just keep that in mind when you're creating content and posting stuff. The amount of views and the watch time is equally as important according to Instagram. So we'll see. If you guys believe that, let me know in the comments. Do you think that that is true? Do you think that a shorter video does better? Or do you think a longer view does better? But also, you as a creator or you as a business that's posting videos, would you rather have somebody watch a 30-second video or a 7-second video multiple times, or a 30-second video one time? So it's kind of interesting that they're talking about that. And I know we've seen that on YouTube, right? Like an hour-long video that gets watched all the way through, you're keeping them on YouTube longer. So obviously watch time plays a big role in that, I think, no matter what platform you are on. And otherwise, that's kind of it. Let me see if I can jump back to some other news, see if there's anything else on here that's kind of interesting that I want to talk about. If not, if you guys have any questions, comments about your own social media, or things you want to talk about, or a question you want to ask me about social media or business in general, or what we do here, just let me know and we can go over that. A lot of people are starting to talk about Grok, Elon's AI. So I don't know if you guys have started playing with that or not, using it. A lot of this is Meta expands AI chatbots and AI, lots of AI talk. So everybody's trying to figure it out, what implements into it, what can, be tied to it, in what ways can it be used. So it's super interesting. So much AI stuff. 2025 is going to be a wild one for AI just in general. And, we utilize it in ways. I downloaded this app that I actually got an ad for, and it says it'll create videos, and I had it create a video, and it uses a bunch of stock images, and it's not very good, but it created it. The ad that they showed me, it looked a lot better than it performed, I guess, but still interesting that it can, in what it's doing. I mean, I heard a quote that, AI is only going to get better. Like tomorrow will be better than it is today, and forever it'll pretty much always get better. So pretty crazy that what we've seen as fast as we've seen it, but as far as AI and video editing and creation and stuff, it's weird. It's very weird. TikTok looks to promote live stream shopping in more regions. Live stream shopping is a massive thing going on right now on TikTok Shop. And then Whatnot. I don't know if you guys are on Whatnot. Whatnot is extremely interesting. I actually have been downloading it and watching it. So I'll pull up the app. And you literally, let's see, somebody's live here. So like this person's live right now on Whatnot selling, it looks like a jersey, or yeah, some sort of, shirt, long sleeve shirt. Looks like a Washington Redskins shirt or something like that, but which they're not called that anymore. But or actually, a Florida State University long sleeve is what they're selling. And then she just transitions to something else, pulls it up, and then once the auction starts, you just swipe over and it bids up like $1 at a time. I've been watching it. It's super interesting. Sometimes it is like a buy now, so it has a set price. Sometimes the start price goes up. So see, bid 5, it went from 0 to 5. Now it's at 7. And then it's got 3 seconds remaining, 2 seconds remaining, 1 second remaining. If it bids, it'll reset it. Nope, sold for $15. So super crazy that I think if you are a business that is e-com, you should be setting up a live shopping type of situation, especially if you're like a small business that is like brick and mortar. You worry about, foot traffic and stuff like that. If it's slow in the store, you should have your employee or somebody working there just be sitting there live like this, selling stuff on apps like that. Now, you just don't get to go on Whatnot and sell whatever. You have to be on the app for a while, and then you can apply for being live. But I think it's super interesting, right? Because if you're super small and you don't have a big following, and you try to go on there and sell, and there's 3 people watching, you're not going to get very good money on it. But these people that are building big audiences, the bidding gets crazy, and sometimes they're probably doing pretty good. There's a lot of like Amazon resellers, like where people buy stuff in bulk and then resell it on there. And shoes, a lot of shoes. I've seen knives and a bunch of accessories and electronics and different things like that. There's everything on there, but you kind of select what you want, and then in your feed it kind of feeds you, different interests and people selling those types of products. So seen everything from, people just literally selling stuff, one item after another, or people are hanging out for a while and selling an item, then hanging out for a while and selling an item. So super interesting what's going on with live shopping just across the board from TikTok to whatnot. And it'll probably be a big thing that everybody implements, because everybody with a e-com or online store can pretty much, as long as they implement some sort of live streaming tied into that, you can sell the products right there. Snapchat's always kind of doing their own thing, it looks like, in the news on that stuff. Highlights the value of AR in driving audience connection. So they're always doing a lot of things with AR and with filters and different things like that. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the top things that it's looking like. And, again, TikTok shares insights into rise of e-commerce in the app. Lots of people selling stuff on TikTok Shop. Something, though, that I want to talk about that I think is really interesting that probably not a lot of people realize or understand about TikTok Shop is, to get TikTok Shop going, TikTok literally lost money. So they burnt money to get that up and going. They would subsidize. We literally bought, I think, this map that my computer's sitting on. I bought it for cheaper from ourselves through TikTok. I tested that because I was curious. Are they literally the ones subsidizing the cost between, us and the buyer? And that's exactly what it was. So they, when they give you first purchase 60% off, they're literally, whatever you saved on that, if you saved $20, they more or less lost $20, paid $20 to get you to put your information into the app, connect your card and all that stuff to get you to get past that first purchase. Then obviously they hope to make a little bit of revenue off the backside of all the other purchases you got. But they literally were willing to lose money to lose that. So then that kind of goes into customer acquisition costs, right? How much money are you willing to spend to get a new customer? Are you willing to go negative on the customer the first time, so then you can have, chase the lifetime value of a customer? Do you think, if Amazon lost money the first time you bought something from them, which could have when they were early on, or in shipping, right? When you ship something really big, they might lose a little money. When they ship something small, they might make a little bit more money. So they're willing to actually lose money at certain times to keep you as a customer or get you to create a new buying pattern with them. Hey, Chris, good afternoon. Actually, it's still slightly AM here, but Whatnot is taking over, hurting on other platforms like eBay. Yeah, I mean, that's super interesting, right? I didn't even really think about that, but will eBay convert into like live shopping? I mean, they should drop some sort of live shopping feature with everybody that has a big eBay store. And then if you already have a ton of people that follow you or reviewed you, and then you fall into their algorithm of when they go in there, because they know how big your shop is, or that prioritizes big eBay sellers, could be huge there. But then for an eBay seller that's big to go over to Whatnot, they should probably start testing there or trying to sell there, just in case eBay doesn't build out that new ecosystem. And you already have a ton of products, and if it sells on one platform, you just clear it from the other or whatever. So it's super interesting. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see if like somebody big like eBay, because they definitely could, right? They have the capital, they have the ability to then hire a team or go license the feature from a social platform or whatever, and build like a whole new eBay live shopping ecosystem in. Jared, I believe shorter does better because the lack of attention span people have. I personally will not be spending my time chasing the algorithm. I know that's a terrible move when trying to build a business in these times and trends. Yeah, Jared, but it's also about what is relevant to you, right? Like, are you wanting to document and put out content that is important to you and not chase trends or do challenges or dance to certain songs or whatever that is? But if you can blend them, or you take little pieces from that stuff and implement it into your content, it could potentially help it improve. But I agree with you. I mean, we're doing everything from very short clips to very long clips. trying to add value in the longer clips, the shorter clips. I mean, there's that whole thing with even making a piece of content that loops so you don't even know when it restarts. So then you get like that 120% view time, which then helps it push it. We saw a lot of that. That seems to have gotten cut down some. I don't see as many looping videos. I know it's still a thing, but there for a while it was like everything looped. So, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about putting out content. We've seen everything from trendy style stuff take off to just documenting. But what's really interesting, what we've noticed in our business and in the content we're putting out for us and clients, is original audio really seems to be the most consistent thing. If you hit a trend right, or you're using a song right, and you're doing it exactly like that, bing, buck, boom, and then you like edit to each of those things, it does well. If you use that audio and you don't film it exactly to the trend, it's probably not going to do as well. It could still do okay because you're going to jump on that little train and run it for a little while. But I think creating original content that's true to you and what you want to keep creating ultimately is kind of the key. Those other things are like hacks for growth, but creating your own content and being unique in the content you create is obviously longer term and audience wise probably better. What else you guys got? Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? I enjoy doing these. It helps a lot better though if you guys got things you want to talk about. So I'm trying to think what's some other stuff that's been going on that we've kind of seen. We had a client that we've done really well with in the past. There for a while it went a little stagnant within results, and then had a video really pop off hard for them. So I think that just shows consistency. It's the content's not that way different. It's a slightly different look at what they were doing, and it worked. And I think just consistency is the key to a lot of it. You know, sometimes we put out a post for a client and the first post crushes it, the first week it crushes it, or it takes us, you know, a lot of it depends on content. That we've had a lot of clients where we'll run their socials for a period of time and only with stuff they sent us, and then we get over the hump of having them, you know, bring us on site and let us film and let us create content the way we create content. And typically we see a pretty large increase in results from that. So it's really cool. Makes me proud, makes me happy that we know what we're doing, and, you know, consistently time and time again, that gets better. So I think also if you're not having great success within the content, you're not getting the results you want, continue trying different things and continue elevating your content. Opening up the doors, being more vulnerable, putting out just different styles of content to see what resonates. Once you get a little bit of success, continue doing that while then still continuing to try other things, because unless you're getting millions of views video, you probably have some learning and testing and trying to do. So, and then once you hit that, you may just fall into that, you know, that pattern of creating that content. And then that's when you see people really grow fast on socials, once they have something hit and then they replicate it again and again and again and again, grow a fast audience. That one piece though is the magic piece. And also, if you can replicate making that content over and over and over again, makes a big difference. If it's like a fluke thing and it's hard to recreate, it's hard to recreate. But that's part of trying to figure out how you're building your business and brand online and what story you're telling. You know, is that viral clip that brings a ton of people to you actually going to turn into results as far as growth for the business? Check all the platforms. We are actually live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So if you're watching us on Facebook, go give us a subscribe on YouTube and follow on Twitch, so we can get you guys there too. It's 11 here. I'm going to be on here probably another 30 minutes to an hour if you guys got some stuff. And then it's lunchtime. And then I got more work to do. But I want to try to at least do a live every week talking about different things. Let me think about something else. Okay, so here's a quick tip or trick that we do for our clients. So when we show up and clients are not, you know, on video, they haven't done a lot of filming and stuff like that. Literally, I mic them up, I grab a camera, and I just have a conversation with them and talk to them, have them tell me about their product, have them tell me about what they're up to in business, have them tell me about whatever they're doing, whether product, service, history of the business, some tips and tricks, frequently asked questions, whatever. Just I grab the camera, I hold it, and I talk to them like we're just having a conversation, except for it's a one-sided conversation because they're now talking to the camera. We take that content, we cut it up, we put it out. And it does really, really well typically, and it's usually outperforms anything they've done in the past as far as just regular pictures or simple graphics or whatever. So try that sometime. You don't have to have a fancy camera. Good audio helps, but not absolutely mandatory. Grab your phone, turn it around on you, hit record, and just talk about something that's going on. For instance, today, hey guys, James here. I went live today. I talked about news on social media, talked about some tips and tricks, and gave some ideas of how we create content here at High Speed Media. I wrote up a proposal for a client. I've went over some Facebook ads and stuff like that for a client, and I've worked with the team on some of the content that they're creating for clients. So that's what we did here at High Speed Media today. See you later. It's literally like a little mini documented video of what happens, just telling our story and what we're up to. If we're working on a new project or whatever like that, it's always cool to, hey, this is something new we're doing, on and on and on. We're looking at doing more live streaming this year, so I've been looking at, different equipment. We're working on trying to put together a podcast. So some of that stuff will be here tomorrow. We have a lot of it, but we're trying to turn it up a little bit. And in the back behind me is where our little studio's at. And I'm going to work on probably this weekend setting up a little podcast studio. So I'll be looking for business owners. I'm going to do everything in person here at High Speed, potentially travel and set it up there remote, depending on the situation. But for the most part, we're going to do all the podcasts right here. So I hope to even have people come from out of town and out of state, come here, sit down on a podcast and talk about business. It doesn't even have to be about social media, mostly about branding and business. What I've learned in doing this as High Speed is I really enjoy the conversations I have learning about people's businesses. And I think it would be really cool to show that and talk about that so other people can listen about how people have grown different businesses, what businesses they're in, how they make money, when they make money, if it's service-based, if it's product-based, how they came up with the product, how they've developed the service, what did their business well, what didn't do their business well, hiring, firing, just different things, right? Just talking about business in general has probably been one of my favorite things about what we do here at High Speed Media is getting to learn all the different businesses that we work with. So super fun, super cool. I'd like to just do in-depth conversations about that type of stuff on a podcast because I think it'd bring a ton of value to anybody watching it. Let me see. What else do we got going on? What do you guys got going on? Whoever's watching, drop a comment. What are you guys up to today? See if we got some people. Let me jump back in here. We got 5 people. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a something. Let's chat about something. What you're working on, what you're doing, what's on your mind, what you're planning on doing with your business, brand, creating content, all that type of stuff. Or if you're a car person and you follow me because of that, what are you doing with your car? So that's always a fun one to revert to. Let's see what else I could pull up here. Oh, and this live stream, actually, I'm not sure on this live stream if it will delete in 30 days, but any previous Facebook Lives that you did, which is really crazy because in 2017, when I started Build Tune Race, I did live split screen. It was like a brand new feature in Facebook. I did live stream like podcasts, and I had split screen. We just talk about racing or cars or the business or whatever. All those are going away in like the next 30 days. Luckily, I've stripped most of those and put them on my YouTube channel. But if you've done any live streams and you want the content from it, or you're not even sure if you want the content from it because you may need it one day, go download all your past live streams on Facebook. So, which is super interesting, right? I think that does that mean that like Facebook is seeing storage as an issue? Or are they like, holy cow, we have so much storage? And then they probably looked at how many people are watching old live streams, and it's probably not very many. And then, what does that look like? Or why are they making this decision to probably deplete just tons and tons of storage? Obviously, it's a cost in these big data centers. And I think potentially, are they going to clear that out to use that for AI? What we learned at CES is a lot of data center, like big data centers that you're using right now for your typical computing are not enough or not correct for AI. So a lot of the AI stuff, and I think this makes sense if you've used ChatGPT, if you go too fast or you don't pay for it and you don't get premium priority, it's probably because there's a funnel and there's a bottleneck in the amount of processing power that AI system has. So now those got to get bigger and more efficient and have more computing behind them. So now not only are you going to have these big data centers for cell phones or internet or computing or like AWS or Google Drive where you have all the storage, you also need these big data centers just for AI. And then that's going to turn into just who knows where that goes. Like it seems like everybody has AI in their software or AI plugged in already. So what happens when everybody starts to really build out their own AI systems and not just kind of plug it in, or they license that tech to all these companies, they implement it, they figure out how to make it work, and it gets more and more powerful, more and more computing, more and more data, more and more internet, more and more data centers to process and send that and compute it and then send it back and all that type of stuff. So really interesting what's going on there. And those build outs are going to be insane. Let's see. Something we've noticed here internally is that the hackers or the spam accounts they're terrible. They got a little bit better. Terrible again. If you get a message in your messenger and it's not actually from Facebook and you don't even know or whatever, like they'll populate something, but it's like there's a specific page that is actually Meta. Everything else is BS. If you get emails, it's BS. Just one of the quickest ways to look at that, and although some of them come through and can trick you a little bit, is go to like look at the email, and if it's from John Meta 763265 whatever yada yada yada, it's not real. Most of them are not. And also if it says, oh, you're gonna get kicked out of your thing, or you're kicked out of your thing, if you can still open up and access and utilize your Facebook account like normal, you're fine. Nothing's going on. Don't click the link. Turn on two-factor authentication. If you don't have it turned on, it's a good way to lose your personal account or your business account. Definitely have other admins and people added to your business account just in case you get hacked, because then hopefully they can save it. Because if you're spending a bunch of time investing in your social media accounts, you don't want them to go away. And we've had to help people get them back. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. Usually business pages we can, but it is not fun. And takes a lot of time and energy to do so by just clicking on one wrong link. So don't do that. It's like Meta Business Support is like the only legit communication. Meta Business Support. Let me see if I can pull up the page to where it looks right. So like this, that right there, there we go, is like the only legit communication from Facebook. And if you go there, or if you've ever had an issue with Facebook and you like message them, that's the only way that you actually, get that. So typically, if there's an issue with your ad account or you schedule and you're running a new ad, it'll like message you through that and say, hey, your ad's up and running. So it's like communication from Facebook. That's also like the support from Facebook. But usually to get actually tied into support, you go into the backside, you click settings, support, and then usually have to jump through a bunch of other hoops to actually get to it. But that's like the one and only communication Facebook will actually send you without populating, like if you logged in, it'll like show up in front of everything and say like, hey, this is whatever's going on with Meta, kind of like logging into it. But be very, very careful. Let's see. LinkedIn's super interesting. We haven't gotten it. We've been pushing more for us personally. So if you're a B2B business, I'd say keep posting to LinkedIn. We've been actually trying to take a lot of our reels from like Facebook, put it on there. We also put on YouTube Shorts, stuff like that. But haven't had anything pop off. But I also think that if you do, it could be a game changer. So we're chasing some of that. Personally, internally, But even that, we had a conversation yesterday. You know, internally as High Speed Media, we're posting to Facebook, Instagram. We did a little bit to Threads, but not doing a ton there now. YouTube Shorts, and then I'm trying to make more YouTube videos. I need to come up with some ideas that I can film internally and then post just as how-tos or whatever. And then, we have our TikTok account. And then we're like, oh, maybe we should start posting to like Lemon8. Although it's a split of TikTok, with TikTok getting shut down, it seemed like a lot of people went over there. TikTok does get shut down. That one could go away anyway, because we saw that during that. Everybody like ran over there, and then it got shut down anyway. But none of the platforms are going away. Everybody that's posting or building brand or awareness on social, there's no major platforms where it's like, oh, I'll just stop posting there because it's gone or nobody's using it anymore, and I'll go post over here now. There's so much content and there's such big audiences that it feels like you just got to do more. So that's where we were even talking is, if you're posting 2 times a day, every day, once a day, a couple times a week, but you're doing it to every platform, it's exponentially increasing with every platform that comes on. If you're taking that same content and distributing it across, changing it for the platform, adding music, whatever. It's interesting to see how many platforms people are on. And none of them are going away. So it's super interesting. You usually have a pillar. Each business usually has like one good following. It's kind of crazy how many businesses still only have a Facebook page and aren't linking an Instagram account, when through Meta, you can pretty easily add that second post over. Even it's really interesting because Instagram will easily post to like from your phone. Instagram will easily post from Instagram to Facebook. They're trying to do some stuff Facebook to Instagram. It gets weird. It gets wonky. Certain accounts work. I don't know. It's different. But those are some things to keep an eye on, and make sure you're utilizing that free distribution, or not somewhat free distribution. Sometimes you got to go through the friction of adding that other account or posting it and then chasing it, as far as like certain features work, certain don't. It likes it when you upload it a certain way. If you're just used to popping off stuff from your phone, sometimes you got to change your little workflow to get a little bit more bang for your buck. Let's find another topic to talk about. Let's talk about YouTube Shorts and why so many people should be on YouTube Shorts. And what we're doing internally is we're taking our YouTube Shorts and we're more or less just converting the title to be more searchable. So many people are not utilizing YouTube Shorts. And what makes YouTube Shorts different from every other platform is pretty much everything goes away over time. YouTube Shorts, if it hits a search term, usually gets better over time because you start ranking towards the top and it hits that search term. And the more people search that term, the more you get views because it's at the top. So there's a lot of times you'll have a video that'll do terrible for a while and it starts to hit a search term. And just for like the next 4 years, it's going to get 2 views a day for 4 years. So think about that. If you have a business or a product and you make a post and it goes on YouTube and that video hits a search term and every day 2 people see it, 600, 700 people a year see that video, depending on what you're selling and what you're doing, the video's out there just doing work for you for free at that point. So what's that worth in awareness? Now, what if it's 10 people a day or 50 people a day or 100 people a day, every single day for a year? And then what happens if you put out 10 videos that do that? In 4 or 5 years, you have 100, 200 videos that do that. In 5 years, what does that look like? So every day you're getting 1,000 free views, 3,000 free views under a certain search term that potentially ties back to you as a business, product, or service. That could be unbelievably powerful. A lot of people aren't thinking about the long game in YouTube like that for search and their products or services. Yeah, they're going to get outdated. Yeah, they're not going to feel the same. But if you're an HVAC company and you show how to clean like the sensor, and you put it on YouTube, and it gets those views every day, all day long. 1, it's going to help SEO on your website if you embed that backwards. But 2, how many people could that bring you? Or over time, like what if you spread and you start to build out a bigger network of businesses or whatever, and you're already building a brand across the country, although you're in a small town? It's just really interesting stuff to think about, because I think a lot of people just think about posting to social media for today and what results it gives them in the short term. not the long-term brand awareness and building of the brand that it can develop for you. So, and what if out of that 700 views a year, you get 4 new subscribers and one of them is in your town? Okay. It's still more growth, more business, more awareness around people knowing who you are and what you do. So when it comes time to get that product or service, you're top of mind. That's what we're doing. That's why social media is so powerful in branding. But YouTube, I think, there's nothing else like YouTube that, what if there was a social platform that flipped it, right? And the most views were at the top? What if they went away from because YouTube, you'll see it if it's new, you'll get a mix of those long-term searchable things and views. But if you went to the top, I think that's potentially going to start playing into AI, because if you do this, it's really fun. It may or may not populate something, but search like a business or a topic. You got to be careful, because if Google jumps it into like a local business thing, you won't see this, but they do that little AI summary thing. So search a certain topic or business or brand. I searched one of our clients. I was trying to find an article that they were in. I searched them, and the AI brought up like this write-up. And the first top 2 things were from our last 2 posts on Facebook. So when you stop going to Google and searching things, and you just ask AI, but if AI is pulling from everywhere, not just Google, but it's pulling some of the most recent and then some of the most viewed or recognized information around that, or it's computing and averaging it all together to give you a summary. How much data do you have out there? How many posts do you have in the world? How much content do you have? How many pictures do you have? If it says, hey, AI, whatever, show me a pizza from a local restaurant that's pepperoni, and they posted a pepperoni pizza, and then it shows them, they're like, oh, that looks amazing, I'm going to go eat that. What's their Supreme look like? And then it can search and find all that data somewhere and then show you what their Supreme pizza looks like. You're like, oh, wow. But if you're a company not putting out any content or not doing anything that would be searchable or being able to be summarized, hey, show me a pizza place. There's a new company down here, and that's all the data it has. Instead of like AI going and saying, well, they got 5 stars, and this is what their pizza looks like, and this are the times that they're typically busy, and yada, 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 yada. It's going to be an interesting thing when AI starts to manipulate your searches. And, how do I, as an owner of High Speed Media, one day when somebody says, hey, AI, who's a great content creation, social media management, digital ad buying company, how do I be at the top of that, where AI says, High Speed Media is highly recognized as a company that does these services. They have great reviews. They put out lots of content every day, and their clients are so-and-so, 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 and so-and-so, because even AI will go read your website. We have a portfolio on our website that shows companies we work with and content we've created, and it goes and summarizes all that and dumps it back into somebody and gives them information about you and your business. If you're not putting any of that out there, it's not going to know what you're doing. The more you're putting out there, the more you're going to feed AI, and the more relevant they're going to see you as somebody to recommend or talk about when they're prompted to give a suggestion. Check the comments here. So yeah, those are all the fun things that we get to think about and try to figure out. And a lot of it I won't act on until it is actually majorly changing, but it's interesting. I feel like what we're doing and what a lot of companies that we help are doing is we're not just playing for tomorrow or sales tomorrow. We're playing for sales in 5 years or 10 years, because now you have a bigger brand and more awareness and more content and data out there to help feed information back to you. I haven't seen it, or I haven't seen enough of it, but I wouldn't say that it's probably non-existent. But what happens when you're able to start running ads to ChatGPT? Hey, Chat, I'll pay you if somebody asks you to recommend a social media agency to recommend us. It's no different than what Google search does. Google, the guaranteed ads and local service ads and stuff like that. you're paying for Google to recommend you and put you at the top of the list. So what happens when you can pay chat, but instead of, them saying, hey, so and so, so and so, and so, they come back with one option. And that's because you've paid to be the one option. It's gonna be fun to run ads on that when it comes up, but it's not gonna be cheap. Bet the floor will be expensive. $11:30, got 30 minutes till lunch. Katie, I got no comment from you. Somehow it shows a comment. Go here. I think it's because she sent stars. Nope, it's watching with you. Interesting. Yep, so that's so funny. In our thing, it shows like that. Shows no comment, right? But in the actual live stream, she sent stars. There we go. So it's kind of cool. Thanks. I know what Facebook does. It's kind of interesting. They will even give people stars at times to like donate them, or you can buy stars and then donate them to people you're watching. So what jumps do you see in businesses that have zero social media presence partnering with them? So it is widely varying. So some companies, they never touch social. And then no matter what, it's usually a little bit of a slow start, right? Because you have no following. That's why this game is so important to start when Facebook came out, because now if you have 10,000 or 100,000 followers, it helps. And there's a lot of discussions about algorithm and size of audience, and it doesn't matter to have a big audience, but it does. It's still you still get people that who maybe the follower count doesn't matter as much, but the following does. Like having people know who you are. So whether that's 10,000 followers and you have 10,000 people that know about you, or you got 100 followers, but got 10,000 people that know about you and know what you're doing, it will exponentially increase if people know who you are and what you're doing. Now, if you're brand new, you have no following, you're starting out from zero, you have 5 friends and family that you're friends with on Facebook, it is far harder to scale that. But where people partnering with us, we can help that is we can take, and usually it's audience or budget, so we can exponentially help speed that up within helping you create content, helping run ads, and helping get that out there. For instance, we have a client that came to us as a patented product, e-com store. We started running ads and creating content for this product. We've gotten the guy 3 sales. He's not sold. He sold it to the very niche people that he knows. And now we've sold them outside of the local area to people directly from the ad, directly from that. Now, he didn't know how to take it to those people. He didn't know how to get it in front of those people. He knew he needed to be on social media and it was powerful and all that type of stuff. So luckily he found us. We were excited to help him, started running ads, and he's starting to sell products. Now it's a slow ramp up, right? But I think that's where if you want to go from 0 to 100,000, it's kind of like how much budget do you have to get in front of all those people, or how much time do you have to get in front of those people? So partnering with a company like us, though, you don't have to go learn how to go film. You don't have to learn how to edit video. You don't have to learn how to create graphics. You don't have to learn how to run digital ads and how to spend it correctly and not waste your money. We have a lot of data and strategy that has worked for companies. We know about things that you probably have zero clue about potentially. Business owners may not know that there's a thing called a Facebook pixel and it tracks stuff. They may not know that there's ways to edit video or put prompts on there or stuff. They may see it, they just don't know how to get there. We know how to get there much faster. Instead of them spending hours or months or years learning, we can kind of turn that on from day one. So that's what helps. We can rapidly speed up your time in learning and production of content and getting it out there so people can find out about you. And then obviously, depending on some other things, we can help with promoting that even more. So super fun, super cool. Cheap viewer, oh, nice spam. So that's what, do you want to take a year or 2 to learn how to film and edit and do all that stuff because you're busy building the business, or do you want to exponentially speed that up? But then budget and a balance there really comes into play. Some people, the budget ain't the thing, it's the time. And some people, it's more of the time, not the budget. So you just kind of, we can speed it up though. And that's what we typically do with businesses. And it was really fun. Had a client come in, super happy. They joined us about a month ago and put some stuff on social media for a while, did it for a while, now hired us, and we've started posting for them. And good looking videos, nice photography, consistent posting, and everybody's and he's like, the feedback's been insane on what we've gotten from that. And people are loving it, they're excited to see it. And we thought that, they think all these different things, and then they see you just back at it and they're like, holy cow. So but that person had a following, has built a business and brand, just kind of took a hiatus from social media, and then now comes back and it's like elevated to the next level, and everybody's like, holy cow. So it's really a case by case situation, but either way, it's taking anybody's current situation and helping them push it forward consistently and as rapid as possible within their means, time, budget, and energy. I wonder if it'll let me delete here. Oh, that's a Twitch comment. How funny. Who else is on here? What else we got? Jump back in here. Sometimes I almost think about just leaving the camera on and just continuing to work, and then if anybody comments anything, I would jump in here and say something. But I will say what we've noticed in our business, and I hope everybody else is seeing this for their business, is past the beginning of the year, everybody's fired up. I think 2025 is going to be huge for so many businesses and brands, that everybody has a bunch of energy behind them. They want to go crush it. They want to do more this year. They're excited to do more this year. They're ready to invest into doing more this year, and everybody's trying to push forward. Obviously, some more than others. Different industries at different times, but even seasonal people feel like they're ahead of the game now, and they're excited to get in before they normally would be. And everybody's starting to kind of just be fired up. And we feel that we've onboarded some new clients at high speed. We're talking to a ton of new clients and potential clients and stuff like that. So I hope whatever business you're into, or if you're thinking about doing a business or whatever, go get it, because I think there's a lot to go get here over the next few years or next year. It's just lots of people are excited to go do a bunch, which is super cool, super exciting. We didn't feel that like the back half of last year, and now the first half of this year. Like, yeah, I mean, the energy in the business, we haven't felt similar since probably mid last year at best. I mean, this more feels like a year or two ago as far as like rapid growth and people excited and want to go get it and do it. There's been moments, but then there's also been other moments where it just feels like everybody was kind of holding back, or I know the economies went through a lot of stuff and everybody's trying to figure that out. But I don't know, it seems like everybody's ready to go now. Which is super cool. And we love hearing that. Like, I literally had a conversation with the guy yesterday. He's like, I'm ready to scale. I'm ready to go to like the next level with my business. And I'm like, love it. Like, that's the type of conversations we need to have. Those are the best clients for us, are people that want to like go. They want to, it depends on the size of business, right? They want to add 10%. That could 10% of some companies is $1 million more a year. Some people 50% is $1 million more. Some people doubling is $1 million more, whatever. So those types of things. But to each person wanting to grow, that growth or that drive to push their business further forward, hire people, scale it, add more resources, offer more services, that type of stuff is super, super exciting to see. Or they want to, we've been meeting even some people that are kind of in the same pattern. They've been in business 4 or 5 years. They got 3, 4, 5 employees. And that's super exciting because you learn so much in that like short time. And look and see if there's anything else that pops out as far as news or things to talk about. Something I'll discuss a little bit about. I don't know if you guys are watching this and you're at all nerdy about like cameras and different things like that. We saw a Red camera at CES. They're really cool. They do some really cool things. We love our Sony, so I don't know. I'd like to get our hands on one and try it. But they actually released a Z mount, which then allows us to use Sony lenses. And then, but they're working on, autofocus and all that stuff. So discussion within that. So we may get one of those cameras and do some testing and try some stuff, make some content with it, and see if we really can tell a difference, or if like what I'm filming with right now, the FX30, is 95% as good as that thing, even though the price difference is thousands of dollars in difference. So tech and all that stuff, we're always looking at that as well and trying to figure out how and when or what do we need to do to better our services, our equipment, our skills, those types of things. Interesting. So January 21st, 25, Meta looks to lure TikTok creators with new bonus programs. So if you're creating content on Facebook, Meta, if you go into Meta Business Suite and you go into monetization tab, there literally could be a little thing right there. Sometimes they'll hit you in notifications. It says like apply or sign up for bonuses. Those are big. Those could be really good. Those could be not very good. A lot of it depends on how many views you get a month and that type of stuff. But when you're early to that, they usually pay out more at the beginning of that, and then it tapers as you go out. But make sure if you're putting out consistent content, go in there. I mean, even us on like our Facebook page, we get a few bucks a month or whatever from just engagement stuff. We haven't unlocked personal, or like through my content, I have in-stream ads. We have a client that makes money off of in-stream ads. And then, that's kind of those levels. You get like an engagement bonus, and then you can go to in-stream ad bonuses and stuff like that. So, but that's interesting that, I know some people that said they haven't made anything off of like the TikTok creator deal. I know people that have made a ton of money off of Facebook bonus program. I'm sure there's been a ton of people make money off of the TikTok creators deal, but apply to Breakthrough bonus program, earn up to $5,000. The new scheme will offer creators with large followings on other apps, i.e. TikTok, expanding capacity to immediately begin earning higher amounts for posting their content direct to Facebook and Instagram instead. The Breakthrough bonus program is for creators who are new to Facebook and Instagram. So, creators that have a large following on TikTok, they can apply, and Facebook Meta will enable migrating creators to earn up to $5,000 in total bonuses during their first 90 days of posting to Facebook and Instagram. I mean, I was in a very similar program when I was doing a long form video, except for I was just posting it to both platforms. And then Facebook came to me and said, hey, if you post a video every week, as long as it's more than 3 minutes long, we will pay you per video. And it's pretty good. We made a pretty good amount of money. And then, a few months later, turned it off. I still made money on the ads. Still do, still can. I don't post as much as I should to my own stuff now with running the business, but those things are great when you can jump on it. But obviously now they're like, when Reels first came out, everybody was making money on Reels. It didn't matter what page you were, as long as you were posting, for the most part. But now that it's kind of saturated, now they're looking for the big creators to come over and start posting more to Meta. And I think you see that. Like, I've seen that where, like with Twitch and gaming, people will pay for people on Twitch to go start gaming on YouTube, people on gaming on YouTube to go game on Twitch, and different things like that. So there's also contracts, and if you get it to a certain level within being a creator, you can hit like a threshold where the platform will then help promote you and help your growth, and they absolutely can feed you more traffic based on your account and your status and that type of stuff. So some of those are good partnerships to help with growth as well. And we saw it, right? Like even Rogan did that with going from, I think it was, YouTube and doing his own thing. Spotify did that for long enough, and then now back. I'll throw this out there if we get some comments, cool. If not, whatever. But if you're watching, what is a podcast that you consistently listen to? I'm working on a name for our podcast. I'm working on kind of a structure or some questions. And so, what's a podcast that you typically listen to, like consistently? You've listened to multiple of them over the last, like maybe month or whatever, or a new one that you found that is really intriguing and they do it a little bit different and you really like it. One of mine that we've been watching or listening to is Modern Wisdom. Actually, I think the guy's name is, let me see if I can pull it up. Chris Williamson. So those, I've been listening to a couple of those podcasts. Those are super interesting. Depends on the person. The Jordan Peterson one's interesting. The one with Alex Hormozi is really interesting. That one's really interesting because they almost talk about like quotes and then they react to the quotes. I really want to find a podcast and listen to something with the Liquid Death guy and how he's built the business and stuff like that. I haven't, but I need to find a good one on that. Tony Robbins was a good one on that guy's podcast. Obviously, Rogan's a big one. I don't listen to a ton of Rogan. I know tons of people do. I'll catch parts of it, I guess. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the one I've listened to. And then we've been doing some book. We're going to kick off book club again here at High Speed. We just finished up one book, and we're going to do another one here soon. So that's going to be fun. Otherwise, no more comments. I'm about out of things to talk about for the moment. I know that's weird. But I think I'm going to get ready to go eat some food and do lunch. So what are the benefits for a small business owner being on a podcast? So I think you're dual-sided. The big hack with podcasting is the person putting on the podcast, if they have an audience, the person coming onto the podcast gets put in front of that person's loyal audience and gets to have a good conversation there. And then the person with the podcast gets to benefit from anybody that person has a large audience there. That's why you see so many podcasts like blow up, because it's like two people with large audiences. They do one podcast together and now they like mixed following and both people gain a following from that. So hugely important. Small businesses, I mean, a small business owner being on a podcast, if you go on a podcast and you're seen by 10 people that are interested in your thing, one person that's interested in your thing. So you come on a podcast, you talk about whatever you're up to. And if you're small enough, one person could be huge. One person could be double your business. One person could be starting the business. One person could have enough connections that they utilize you all the way. One person may end up hiring you one day if you end up or buying your business or whatever. So podcasting really can be, because of the depth of podcasting, one person can make such a difference. But now you just multiply that. So if it's 10 people that like what you do or know who you are or start to follow you from that day on, and then you go on 10 more podcasts, it's 100 more people that know about you and know what you're doing. So it's really like a crazy collaboration. And I think podcasting is not like a salesy pitch thing. So I think that's why a lot of people like it, because you're not like selling people. A lot of podcasts, will have a 2-hour conversation, a 45-minute conversation, hour conversation. And in the last 4 minutes, the guest gets to talk about their new book they're going to sell or their new offering or where to follow them or whatever. So it's very give throughout the entire thing. And there's maybe a little ask at the very end of it. So knowing that you're in that thing, because people don't like being sold to all the time, is having just a good, valuable conversation. And there's things I've heard in podcasts that like you say one thing or they say one thing and you hold on to that for quite some time, or you learn from it, or you develop off of that. And I think if you can deliver a lot of value when you're on a podcast, if somebody asks you to be on it, just go in there and try to deliver as much value and give away as much information. It's completely free, because then people are going to be like, holy cow, I learned so much from that. I need to follow that person more. People want to learn. People love the hacks or the quick, get rich quick, but not in that way. But it's like, how do I learn quick? And if you're in a good podcast and you're listening to it and you vibe with the people, you learn so much from it. So a lot can come from a small business person. And that's where it doesn't even have to be. Now, if a small business person gets put on a big podcast, it could change everything for them. Or if you go on a small podcast, but for some reason you're the episode that blows up, you both win exponentially big. So yeah, there's always a lottery ticket in there, but you can't bank on it. But I think small business owners going on podcast, you'll probably see a lot more of it. It's just the time and energy when I was doing live stream on Facebook, it was hard enough to get somebody to stop what they were doing for an hour, log in, split screen, and talk about something. Audio is terrible, so many issues. Facebook may just not want to work that night, whatever. They're late, they forgot, yada, yada, yada. Doing an in-person podcast, I think elevates everything because you got to be committed. You got to have the person willing to come in, sit down, set aside the time. I'm going to be hopefully asking pretty big for some people to potentially even travel in and have a conversation with us. They show up, maybe be in and out same day, or come down and stay an evening here, shoot the podcast, they leave out the next day, whatever, as that continues to develop. But if it's big enough, it could be beneficial enough. Like for our clients, if we got really some business owners that we can put on a podcast, they come in, we talk mostly about their business, what they're doing. Obviously, there will be a little bit of commingling of what we do to help them, yada, yada. That could turn into good stuff for us. And potentially whatever they sell or offer, their product, could get seen by our following, big or small, and then it benefits them. So it's a great collaboration thing. It's really good. And people were questioning how much podcasting had to do with the election and how powerful some of those things were. If it's changing the way or helping or directing the way our country votes, then I think there's a massive potential for anybody within, no matter what you're wanting to do as far as podcasting. All right, 11:51. I think I'm going to end it there. Thanks, everybody, if you came in and watched. If you're watching this later, you got anything, send me a DM, send me a message, leave a comment, questions, and I would love to go over more stuff in the future. Hit the notification thing if you can, so then when we go live again, you can just pop in here with us. So, see ya. Thanks for watching.